What's up, everybody? Welcome to another installment of the Building Savages podcast. And I'm sure everyone notices the difference of quality going on right
Look at
now.
this shit. Do you see this shit? You
Come
can see
on, man.
my beard looks immaculate right now.
Immaculate. The beard
Immaculate.
oil is showing.
Floral is showing. I just came from the gym. You can even smell me through the fucking video right now. That's how clear this shit is.
This is quality, guys. We're improving each week, just like we said we were. We found a little trick to do with our cameras right now, and it's looking very HD like today.
Look at that. Not a single fucking pixel out of line.
I was tired of
Crazy.
that shit.
I was so tired. You were so tired of it. This is such bullshit. Like, we need to look better. And then like he came up on the podcast like, bro, why you look so clear right now? He's like, bro, you can use your phone. I was like, what? So I mean, yeah, we're upgrading, and you can just tell like as we're kind of progressing like in our videos. And again, like we're obviously super ahead of our videos right now. As you're progressing, like you're starting to see all the like new shit, like the fucking the iPad, the fucking MacBook, the fucking mics, the background in his apartment changes every fucking week at this point. And we
Seriously.
got out the camera. So we're investing a little bit more each and every week, and like we're trying to get it better for not only us but for you guys.
For sure, man. And this is what we do it for. And the beauty of this is literally like we spoken plenty of times on this podcast, is just keep doing it, a little bit of consistency. Shit'll start to figure itself out after a while.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just real quick, you motherfuckers, like, subscribe, do all the shit, follow us on Instagram, follow us on fucking Spotify, follow us on Apple, follow us on YouTube, do all the shit. Or again, like I always say every week, I will find you. I don't know
Easy.
how. I'll find you. And then I'll just give you a big ass hug and like, hey man,
Thanks for supporting us.
hey, thanks for following us. But if you're not, I'll kill you. And then walk away. That's
Follow
it.
us on Podcast Addict, whatever that is, because we
Whatever
found
that
out
is.
that people listen
Yeah.
to us on that.
Yeah. And people in Germany, bro, I
Shout
don't
out
even know
to
who you
y'all.
are. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. Like, you guys are awesome. You get a lot of people in Germany. I don't even know how you found us. Like dark web type shit.
It's starting to
So,
work, guys. We're, we're
yeah.
we're getting out there. So definitely, like Evan said, every listener, we appreciate you guys, and like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And we're gonna keep producing more content, man. Every week, this thing is coming back to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Uh,
Evan, before we jump into our topic today, tell us a little bit about your fantasy football addiction.
Bro, I have the illest fantasy football addiction. I have been drafting since March. I did so poorly last year. I've been mock drafting since March. I have an addiction. I have a very addictive personality, but I'm also very competitive, which is like the worst two things you can be at the same time.
Very
Like
bad.
worst two things at the same time. So I'm in 3 fantasy football leagues. I have another draft tonight, and football starts tomorrow. So I'm okay with everybody that I drafted, but like it consumes me, bro. It consumes me. If I'm like cooking, I'm watching a fantasy football thing. If I have nothing else to do, I'll draft. Like
I'll just draft.
I'll just fucking draft. Like I don't know. Hey man, what would happen if I'm pick 7? Like who would I be able to pick up at pick 7? Who's my backup here? And like what, bro? I am fucked. Like if I'm obsessed right now, football didn't even start yet.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
pretty bad.
So it didn't even fucking start yet. So I have like I'm not big into like sitting down watching every game. Now I have to. You know what I mean? And now I have to pay attention to like everybody getting injured or who else I need to pick up or like shit like bro, I fucked myself. And like Chino was like, hey, I need another guy. I need 4 more people for fantasy like earlier this week. And like I automatically was like, yo, I'm in. And then I sent that and I automatically regretted it. And I thank God that he didn't answer me back. I thank God. My addiction is ridiculous. But like it's interesting because like it's I enjoy it for the pure sake of it being challenging and something new, but I also enjoy it because I enjoy the shit talk. Like I enjoy the shit talk. I enjoy like the community and like the brotherhood that you get, like the bullshit. Like I mean, like I went on a fantasy football draft like party, like what was it, like almost a month ago, like with a couple of friends, and like we just did a whole bunch of bullshit. Like we made the challenger. I don't know what we talked about in the podcast. We made the challenger, the loser last year, run a beer 5K, like
Oh,
in
that's fire.
Tampa. on the Riverwalk. Like he had to like run a 5K every half a mile. Every half a mile, he had to chug a beer. So he drank 6 beers. Like it took him like 45 minutes to run it. He didn't throw up. Surprisingly, he didn't throw up.
Thank
But
God.
yeah, he didn't throw up. But I was so bad last year, mind you. I'm surprised that it wasn't me. I was so bad last year. My winning percentage was 7%. 7%. I won
God.
one game. Technically 2 games if you're gonna count the game that I beat the other guy in, just for the loser spot. So like I was like, I can't do that to myself again. So I've been preparing since fucking March, and
That's why you're obsessed.
yeah, I'm super obsessed. I hate losing. I fucking hate losing. But like we did like at the draft at Tampa, we did like the challenging thing. We did the draft challenge where we get to pick our order, which was hilarious, by the way. I don't think I sent you that video. It was like we were on the beach and we were blindfolded, and we did dizzy bat, which is like you put the stick in the ground and then you run around.
Yeah.
Did 10 dizzy bats and we had to run 20 yards. Bro, hilarious. And like on the beach in public, you see people cheering us and like what the fuck is going on? And like, is this a fraternity thing? And like, no, we're too old for that shit. I'm too bald to be in a fraternity. But yeah, we did that. We drafted together. We went out every night. So it's like it's one of those things where like as you get older, it gets harder to make friends because everybody has their own life and everybody's like in a different part of their life or stuff like that. So fantasy football brings people together because it brings people together that you don't think like they're from different crowds or old friends that you don't really talk to all the time. You get to talk to them now because you have vested interest in something. When money also helps, but to me, the gambling stuff isn't like really like the intriguing part. Like I don't like winning money is whatever. I'll be happy if I get my money back. You know what I mean? Because like second and third is fine. If I get the pot, even better. But for me, it's like being competitive, but also bullshitting and talking, um, watching football, just being a bro, being a dude, if that makes sense.
Bro
You
being a dude.
a bro being a dude, just doing dumb shit and just talking shit. We're like, and like you can just it's cool because like you play fantasy football, like you can just go to a random bar, or you can go to like a thing, and you can just talk shop with another dude, and like you can be talking for hours, and you don't even know the motherfucker's name until the end of the conversation. It's like, bro, I got that dude on my fantasy team, like he's blowing up, or he fucking stayed. Like, bro, you should not pick that motherfucker up. Like you're an idiot. It's like, yeah. I don't even know you. You're fucking stupid. Like it's just like it's just like a mutual thing. It's crazy. But that's why I enjoy it so much. It's not so much. It is the competitive nature of it, and I do suck at it, so I need to get better at it. But it's also because like I enjoy bullshitting and talking with my friends. But the bad part about it, it's addicting and it's consuming my life.
Very time consuming.
Very fucking.
3 league. I got this one league, and I only jumped in it because like my friends are playing for money now, so I'm doing it for the money.
Yeah.
Fuck my friends. I want to
Fuck
get
your friends. I
paid.
want money. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite of you with this one.
Did I tell you my punishment?
No, you
So
did.
I tell you, oh my god, bro, this has got to be an all-time punishment. It's gonna be hilarious. So loser of this league, of the league that I went to Tampa with the guys, and we voted on this. So option one was wearing a diaper the entirety of the weekend of next fantasy football draft.
Wow.
A diaper, and you have to like have proof that you piss in it at least. Um, option two was driving 8 hours out of state, taking the picture at the welcome sign, and then driving back the same day. So first one, the only issue with it was you have to be at the draft party, and like circumstances things come up. So if you don't show up, you're out of the challenge. It sucks. But then if you what you call it? If you the other one, which is like 8 hours, like 16-hour drive down and back, is just an inconvenience. It's not like a problem. Like if you have kids, that's like a holiday. I mean, like that doesn't matter. So our actual punishment is dressing up as a leprechaun, playing the flute in a random street corner, begging for money with a sign that says, I suck at fantasy football, and you have to make $20. And you can't take any more than $1. So if you don't get $20 within 8 hours, you have to be there 8 hours, and that's the minimum. But
You
if you
guys
make
are
$20,
aggressive, dude.
yeah, we're aggressive. So this is why I'm super invested, because I can't fucking lose. Because like I'm the shortest person there. They're already expecting me to have a leprechaun suit. Like it's just not gonna like I don't have one. I know just because I'm under 5'5" doesn't mean I fucking have a leprechaun suit. But yeah. If you make $20 like within the first hour, you're done. But you have to play the flute like in a leprechaun suit in a random street corner. Yeah, that's our punishment.
I think the viewers learned a lot about you in this last 10 minute segment.
Yeah, yeah,
Can't wait to
pretty
clip
fucking
this one up.
yeah. I'm pretty fucking weird, and I'm pretty addicted to fantasy football. But I have I'm a nice guy. I just have an addiction problem. That's all. Yeah, I have a fucking addiction
They
problem.
all say, buddy.
That's what they all say. Yeah. I watched so much. I'm too of a not the when you hear it. I'm gonna watch this video. I'm gonna hear it back. Like, bro, I need to stop.
And when this video comes out, we'll be a couple weeks into fantasy, so that'll be fun to
Exactly.
see. We'll
Oh
see
yeah, I
where your
want to see
record is by
that.
then.
Oh man, I'm gonna flip the fuck out. I might flip the fuck out. I'm happy with who I drafted last year. Like I didn't know what I was doing because like I randomly got put into a fantasy football draft on a bachelor party. It's like, hey, like you're gonna be part of it. All right, cool. No research. Oh, cool. So now I came a little bit more prepared. So I'm not bugging on my drafts. Feel like I'm good with it. And we drafted early, so like nobody that have got hurt, and everybody's like has a bunch of upside, so I'm cool with it.
Man. Well,
Yeah,
we're happy with your fantasy football community. We hope it all turns out.
yeah.
Which leads to
So
a perfect segue of our conversation today of establishing a community. So over the weekend, me, the boxing coach, and one of my clients who's actually he does like insurance for like State Farm. But he owns it, like he runs the team. So
is
he's
it
like a pretty
is it
big deal
Jake?
with it.
Is it
No, it's
Jake?
not Jay. But his name does start with a J.
We wear khakis all the time. Is it Jay? Is it? It's Josh. It's Josh from State Farm. I said we're in khakis.
Josh, we'll go with Josh from State Farm.
Josh for State Farm. Okay.
But it was pretty cool. We did like a summer barbecue thing, like on Labor Day. EP would have showed up, but he was elsewhere, addicted to fantasy in
Addicted to
Texas
fantasy
somewhere.
football and all the way in Texas. Yeah. Addicted to fantasy football, preparing for my other draft.
Typical EP stuff.
Yeah. Don't.
But it was cool. Like we kept it intimate. We didn't even like blow it up too much. We just kind of sent it like personal invites, close friends, close family, and we did just kind of like our community with our businesses.
Nice.
And we probably had like a nice we rented out a picnic area, DJ, photographer,
That's dope.
chef, and we just had a good time, dude. And we had a good time, and it was dope to just like when I was really looking at it, I was like, it's really really important to have a community. Like
Yeah.
outside of all the training talks that we have, good formness, whatever, blah blah blah. It's like none of that shit matters if you don't have a brand where people don't trust you, people can't relate with you, people have to like you, man. Like, at the end of the day, like
Yeah.
the coaching business is a business that's really built on the likeness that you have.
Mm.
It's not one of those. We don't really have a job so much of like people are gonna stick around just because you do a good service because we work so personal with people, especially if you do more on the personal training side, even small group because it's not like we run really really large groups. Even for small group, it's so personable of everything that we do. So it's like our likeness is super duper important
Yeah.
in creating our community. So it was really cool to see all of our friends come out, a lot of our clients come out, and just kind of chill out and just have a fun evening.
That's
And
dope.
it made me that's what I enjoyed. I would say like when I was at the previous gym, working with bigger classes and bigger groups, it really helped me create better relationships with clients.
Yeah, for sure.
I know you work more with groups than I do, so you really you definitely get on a weekly and literally like a daily basis on creating that environment. I
Yeah.
work more on like smaller group PT, so I don't run as many groups like that, but at least in today. But before working with like a lot of groups, it's a different energy.
Yeah.
It's a different energy. So
Yeah. I find it. I find it. I find doing groups fun, and I agree. You have to be likable. I don't know why people like me because I'm an asshole, but the thing is that like I enjoy helping people like from the bottom of my heart. Like that's something that I do. And I think that reeks or that kind of like shows in the way that I coach and the way that I interact with each of my clients. And the way I kind of like think about like group training is everybody gets PT. It just happens to be in a room full of other people. And
Yeah.
like I coach everybody a little bit differently. I cue everybody a little bit differently. I communicate with people differently, even if it was a group of 8. But also like it's getting everybody's attention and making it fun for them. Because like a lot of people, especially like the general population, is like if they're not past athletes, they don't understand half the stuff. So how can you
Yep.
communicate in a way that's all enjoyable but easy to understand? And I think if you can do that, make it fun, make it intriguing, have a good personality, and make sure that's the best part of their fucking day, then people will love you no matter how much of an asshole you are. You know what I mean? Because like they're coming in there to get better. So like no matter what you do, if you make them better 1%, then they're better. I trust you. Cool. Boom. Um, but building a community is like very, very important. And it like I was like having this conversation today. I don't know if you watched the Netflix show that just came out about blue zones. Did
I
you
was
start?
going to. That shit is
It's super
yeah. I was
interesting.
just having a conversation about Blue Zones before that shit
Yeah.
came out like
I
two
didn't know
weeks
what
ago.
it was. Yeah, I did not know what it was. But
Very
yeah,
interesting.
losers are super interesting. You need to watch it. I've only been on episode 3. I haven't had time to sit down and watch
Yeah.
it. But the first episode like literally talks about the importance of community and the longevity of people's lives because like in in society and in I mean especially in the United States we're lonelier than ever even though we're more connected
Yeah.
because like it's not realistic and sustainable relationships. You're just having like these conversations and passings. You don't have somebody that has your back and
They're
has
not
a
true human connections at that point.
exactly. And like in different parts of the country, they're true human connections. They have like little circles of circles, like if they have a family, like it was Okinawa. Let's just say this was Okinawa. Like this was the first episode. I'm not ruining anything for you, but like in the community, like they have families, but like the women in the community last longer than the men. But they have like this thing. I forget what it's called, but they have like group of women within group of women that have been friends for like 50, 60 years that pay for shit for each other so they can live more stress free. So like say
Mm.
like they need hospital bills. Those women that are their friends that are part of their friend group will help pay for their hospital bills so they don't have to struggle. You know what I mean? Or
Wow.
if they want to do an event, they'll chip in all together and they'll get an event. If they want to get a house, they'll chip in all together. So like it's a money and an investment within a friend group, but they're all there for each other instead of
Yeah.
being this like if I wanted to drop you today or ghost you today, I can ghost you today instead of like that. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to make that in America because everybody's just like so fast paced and so stressed. But like if you can find that, if you can build that, if you can find that like and build it, it just makes like your life that much stronger. It makes your relationships with people so much stronger. It makes you happier. You know what I mean? Because you have somebody to talk to or you have somebody to um bounce ideas off of or you have somebody that fucking actually loves you. And that's like the main thing is actually like fucking the love and the relationship you have with these people in this community. Like that's important. And I think that's like something that helps with the longevity and the wellness and the long like living a long and prosperous life for yourself is like having a strong community. Like people underrate that shit. And I enjoy that you want to bring this up because I think that's super underrated. Super underrated is having like a strong fucking community to lift you up, even though you don't like, I mean, like you're strong as shit. So am I. Like, you don't need anybody lifting you up because you know your sense of purpose. But like having that community just gives you a stronger backbone.
Yeah, and I don't care like how introverted you are, like everybody wants companionship. And
Yes.
that doesn't even have to be like so much in just a romantic type of way. It's just like we all want people around us that are going to support us, love us, give us resources, give us encouragement. Like
Yep.
we're not meant to be on this world alone.
Tribe.
And when you look at some of the healthiest, happiest people, it's a very common thing that they have a community of people around them with their best interest. It's like what they say when raising somebody, like it takes a village.
Yeah.
So it's like that's something that we heard very young, but that looks very differently as you start to get older, because now it's a matter of like the relationships you have and the resources that you have. And that's what the cool thing about like the barbecue that we did over the weekend was. It was three of us, all with different client bases, which we had common interest of people that we knew and stuff. But it's like, oh, this person knew the DJ, so they got the DJ to come. This person knew the photographer, so we got the photographer to come from this area. This person had the chef, and it's like we're pulling from all of our resources to create this shared energy and this shared group, and it turned out amazing. We had
Yeah.
families there, like people bringing their kids. My mom came, people got to meet my mom and my aunt and some of my close friends, and it was just kind of cool to see like how everybody can just come together and exist. Like it felt like being young and at a cookout. We're throwing the football around, playing horseshoe, cornhole, and like Jenga. I was getting competitive at Jenga, dude. We was
Uh,
having a good
that's
good
it.
fucking
Is that your
day.
fantasy football?
That, that's
Is that
man,
territory?
that's my shit right there, dude.
That's dope though. You don't get that shit anymore unless you actually have like a family cookout. Like
Yeah, and
that's rare.
for sure. And I think it was dope even for like our communities to kind of see us in that light.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even though it was personable, like it was still professional, it was still cool, everything was chill. And now like going back in the gym, it's a different energy, and it gives your community something to look forward to.
For sure. Yeah.
Like it breaks up that redundant gym routine, go home, this and that. Like creating events and creating fun and things for your clientele to look forward to, I think is dope. Like every year, this will be my third year coming up now since I've been on my own. I do like the Build and Beast Awards.
Yeah.
So like I'll give out awards like the MVP award of the year, hardest worker, biggest transformation,
Mhm.
most consistent. I have a list of awards, and last year I actually gave out actual trophies with people's
That's the
names
last I
on
see
it
that.
and
I
shit
remember
like
that.
that.
Mhm.
So I actually want to turn that into like a banquet at one point, where it's
Okay.
just like at the end of the year, I'm giving out trophies. We have like a dinner, the whole sit down. Like these are things that I'm thinking of where I want to push this thing moving forward. And
Yeah.
now it becomes like this event where, oh shit, the Building Beast Awards come in like December,
Yeah.
and the Building Beast Cookout comes around like September. So it's kind of like these events that's placed out in the year. So now, like when you're a part of the Building Beast community, like you're a part of something deeper than just training.
Yeah.
Because outside of, yeah, I want to help you get your fitness goals, I also know like my idea is building better people, building healthy and strong minds. Like all of it coexists. Like the training style isn't necessarily the make or break. It's the journey of it, and it's the what we're doing to improve ourselves as people. And that's why I like the blue zones and what you brought up with the community, because it really does make you think like this is what this is really what being healthy looks like over
Yeah.
time. Having resources and having love and having people with your best interest and surrounding yourself with that daily.
Mhm.
So now it's even cool too. Like I was thinking to myself like a month ago, or I was like, wow, I got a lot of resources. Like I have friends that are in fitness and coaching. I know physical therapists, I know massage therapists, I know business owners, people who do beauty stuff. I'm like all of this fruitfulness that's just surrounding in my ecosystem,
Yeah.
and I'm like this makes sense why I'm just in a good space, because like look what's surrounding me. And a lot of people that aren't surrounded by positivity aren't really a part of the community. They typically just kind of feel outcasted,
Yeah.
or they'll feel lost, or they don't really feel like they have companionship around them. So it is important that we have that human interaction. It's important that we identify ourselves with a community, because also identifying with a community is also identifying with community you don't want to be a part of as
For
well,
sure.
which is also important.
Yes, very important. Very important is understanding exclusion and figuring out what you like and what you don't like. I think my thing is like, and I think we're talking to the introverts here because we're both introverts. So where did you start figuring out like the importance of community and like how did you like get out of your comfort zone to find that for yourself?
So I'm actually feel like I'm starting to push away from being as introverted as I once was. Um, I think the switch with me was I realized like everybody didn't have to be like super close to me for me to get along with them,
Fair.
and that was like and like I have a lot of friends that stem back from like grade school, high school, middle school, so that friend group is very solid with me. So those are like my close friends. And then I have my family and my immediate family I'm pretty close with. And then as I got older, especially I would say like in my later 20s, once I started getting the concept of like you can coexist and be completely peaceful and just know like everybody's not meant to be like in this close box with you. It made it easier to just maneuver,
Mm-hmm. Makes
you know.
sense.
So it's like once I realized like when you know how to safely keep everybody in the box they belong, communication becomes a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So now your expectations from certain people, or yeah, like your expectations from certain people, if they're in this box you're only going to expect but so much here. If they exceed those expectations, great, but I'm gonna expect more out of the lifelong relationship that I have, opposed to expecting this person that I hit it off with pretty cool after a quick conversation. Is like they don't really owe you that much.
Yeah, for sure.
If anything, I just want them to like respect me and be mannerable with me and just kind of keep it moving. And
Yeah.
then through time and consistency and frequency and being around someone long enough, maybe it grows into something. And then maybe that box now they move to another box for me,
Yeah.
but that also comes with a different list of expectations now. And I think it allows you to it allows you to create relationships more organic that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with some people, sometimes they'll move off the energy of whatever that is in a moment so quick, so naturally they latch on to this certain expectation from this individual, and it's like you really didn't establish that yet.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I think expectations are can be a major issue if you're expecting too much. And I think that's like the kind of thing that I struggle with, especially in romantic relationships. And we're not gonna get into that like necessarily, but like certain friends should like have certain expectations because like they're lifelong friends or they're people that you want. But at the same time, like there's nothing better than getting something a little bit more from the person that you like. I'm a big proponent of like it doesn't matter how long I know somebody. Like it matters about the quality of the friendship. Like the quality of the friendship and the value of that is so much more important than how long you know somebody. Because
For sure.
sometimes how long you know somebody doesn't really fucking matter if they're negative and they're energy draining. You guys don't have good conversations because you kind of grow out of that. And I think I learned that a lot from like not being in Jersey anymore and bouncing around so many times that it's different for me. It's like, especially now in Texas, I found a very solid friend group. And I can say right now that I found one of my best friends here randomly from one of my cousins. Oh, I talk to all the time. I fucking love that. I love my cousin. But I find so much more value out of him because I mean, we hang out all the time. Like I ask him for advice all the time. He asks me for advice. We bounce ideas off. He's texting me about how to build like the online stuff better, what ideas to think. Like people that reach out to me for that give me ideas and suggestions, like I find that so valuable. And even for somebody that doesn't owe me anything or I don't know owe him anything to be like that is the meaning of a true friend. Like somebody who's constantly thinking about how to improve your own life
Yeah,
without even thinking about it. Perfect. And I think like as I'm growing, as I'm getting older, and especially like around my 20s, like I understood like not everybody needs to be your friend. And I
for
think for
sure.
me, you have boxes. I probably have like 2 or 3 boxes, honestly. You're either family or you're a condolence. Like I'll have people that like I'm a like let's say 3 boxes like friends stuff like that. You're either I kind of know you, you're a friend, or your family. And like I have a lot more people that are friends. I know a shit ton of people that are condolences. I have a very small friend group, and learning how to exclude people that um don't or like kind of like back away a little bit from like people that feed you negative energy, that you don't get energy from them, that you can it's not like a jealousy thing. Like these negative connotations and these negative kind of vibes, like you have to be okay with like dropping a friend like real quick because that person isn't a friend anymore because it's not giving you anything. And that's hard because especially like with your lifelong friends, like I've done this before too, and like leaving Jersey has helped me. Like I've had people that I don't talk to anymore because like it just wasn't the right time or it
Yeah.
wasn't the right time anymore. Um and understanding that maybe that's not part of your community now, but maybe later. But like right now, that's not part of my community. I don't need that in my life right now. I need to grow. And right now, you're kind of stalling me. Like if it's avoiding your growth, like your community doesn't need that shit. Like I don't need that shit, honestly. Like that's something that I'm a big no-no of. That sounded corny. A big no-no. I just was coaching a kid. Um. But
Community.
just building a community is very important. But also understanding when the community you don't need that person in the community. Like it's okay to let go of some rotten eggs. Like why keep the rotten eggs and make the other eggs worse? You know what I mean? Um, so I think that's very important too. Exclusion and inclusion at the same time. Understanding when to do that is very hard and takes a lot of experience. But I think like as you get older and as you understand who brings you value and who doesn't, like it's okay to kick people to the curb. Like I feel like it's very okay to do that, especially if it brings you no value and it just brings you down.
Yeah, we slightly had that conversation on here a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
For meter boxes necessarily doesn't come with longevity, even though
Okay.
it kind of sounded that way when I was speaking of it. But it definitely comes from like alignment.
Fair. Yeah. I
It
like that
definitely
word
comes
better.
from
That's a better word.
alignment with a mixture of the longevity part, like just naturally. Like I'm not gonna expect certain things out of people that I might have just met, and also just kind of knowing what the circumstances are. You
Sure.
know, maybe my relationship with this person is based off of business, so being that my relationship is based off of business, there's a certain respect and there's a certain boundary level that exists within this area,
Mhm.
and maybe that can start to explore a little further in business, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe we just have a good standing of where this box allows for us here, so our relationship exists in this capacity.
For
You
sure.
know, so it's kind of like an alignment and like a capacity and like what the circumstance is with everything. There's some people that I'm really close to that don't help in any regard towards my business, but I also don't look for their assistance in that area
Mhm.
because maybe what they bring to my life is more of like a companionship, a love, a laughter, or the
Yeah.
thing that actually disconnects me completely away from here. You
Yeah,
know,
which is good,
and that's
which is very
appreciated.
valuable. Yeah, that's very valuable.
You know, and that's appreciated too. So for me, just kind of knowing like what I need for myself too. You know,
Yeah.
like I need things and I need people who want to support the business, who understand the business, who can help me in this area. There's certain people that we just give positive communication and just reinforcement on each other's business, and that's just kind of where that relationship lies, and I think that's the most awesome shit in the world. I don't talk really too personal with them or anything like that. It might just be keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm watching, I support you, whatever you're doing, you're making changes. Like I think that's awesome. You know,
Yeah.
one of my homegirls does that shit with me all the time, and I do the same thing back with her. Just like love what you're doing and just
I
kind
think
of exist there, and we just keep it moving. Like we always know what that is there.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that just kind of goes back to that community. It's like what do you want in your community? What do you want in your ecosystem?
Yeah.
And it's important that you identify, because now it just kind of shows you where you want to exist as well.
Mhm.
And I think with age and maturity, I don't even want to just say age because sometimes you get age and not mature. But with maturity, that becomes easier to me. And I think that's, and I also think like with maturity too, you just start to care less about shit that's really not that important, because like when you're younger, certain things that you think is important is really not that important.
Not at
And
all.
then you get older and you're just like, that's not important. So
Mhm.
naturally you just start to approach life differently.
Yeah.
Like things that was grabbing your attention before will never get the light of day today. Like
Mhm.
it's not even what you wish to surround yourself, because you might have surrounded yourself with it before, but it's like it was always empty.
Yeah.
So now you start to get more things that are like filling your cup. And then naturally, when you kind of know what fills your cup more, you start to find that circle, or you start to find like minded individuals that, like, oh shit, I need to be more around this.
Yeah. I think all that really starts with having standards and setting boundaries.
For sure.
Like setting standards and having boundaries is like not being okay with certain things. Like people will either not want to be a part of you or want to be a part of you because you don't allow certain things. And I think that was the at Alpha, like where I started here, that was kind of the issue where people just came in, like a lot of people came in for social hour, like especially 5:30 in the morning. Social hour, they wanted to come in, work out a little bit, pick up the little fives, and it's like, hey, like let's pick up the tens. Like, no, I don't want to do that. And like that kind of stuff. And I was like, nah, bro. Like Emily, like you can't allow people like that in here because then when people come in and they want to train and they see this, they don't want to be a part of that because they think that that's what we're bringing to the table. Like our standard is that now. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so we need to go ahead and like if these people are the people that we want to invest in, or they don't want to invest their the health, wealth, and fitness into us, then we need to figure out a way to get them out because this isn't social hour anymore. Like we can have time to have social hour, but that comes with working hard, getting the results you need, and doing all this stuff.
You earn
So
it.
yeah, you earn that shit. So once I got there, I was like, nah, I'm not doing this shit no more. So change the program. And like even like if you're in the gym and you have this issue where you have like some bad clientele, change the fucking program and make it harder. And you'll find real quick who's ready and who's not. Make that shit harder. People will start leaving real quick. Like, nah, it's too hard. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but like I don't make it like doing like 1,000 burpees. Like I make a fucking strength program. You're
Humbling.
not ready for a
Humble
strength
shit.
program, a humble strength program. You're not ready for it. Cool. But I will always adjust to the people that I see work hard.
Sure.
Cool. Like you can't do that. You have your back hurts doing that. Cool. I have 1,000 variations for you to do. But let's still make something difficult. You're ready for something difficult, but something that won't bother your back. Cool. We're gonna do that. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? So it's this line of like dirty in the sand. Like, nah, this isn't what we're gonna do. No, this isn't. This is not what we're gonna do. Cool.
Yeah, it's not about the standard you set, it's about the standard you maintain.
Yes.
That's something that I learned probably like a year or two ago. That was a really cool quote that I heard, because like we always say, "Oh, we're not doing that," or "I'm not allowing that," and like it sounds good, but the real boundary and the real line drawn in the sand is, what are you actually maintaining, and what are you actually allowing within this. And
Yeah.
like you got a couple things that might slip through the cracks every now and then,
For
but
sure.
it's the patterns and it's the repeatability which actually starts to show like, oh no, this is what the culture is that goes on under here.
Definitely.
So that can
Yeah.
either be a good thing if this is what you're continuing to maintain for yourself, or it can be a really shitty thing. And then what starts to happen is, if it gets too far left of what you intend for that culture to be, now when you really try to start implementing these changes, quote
Yeah.
unquote,
Are
it gets very hard, because now you're trying to get people readjusted to this new way of working that you might have always wanted for yourself, but you just had a problem with setting the boundaries of how to start. And that's why for me it's very important, like with clientele, that I just kind of really set the standard very early on, so there's no surprises later on.
for sure. Here's a question. For I mean, I know you do yourself your everything yourself. How what are your thoughts on how to fix a culture that's already bad? And you're already, let's say you're not part of the problem or whatever like that. You just happen to be a personal trainer in this fucking place and it has a very bad culture. How can you go ahead and start fixing the culture?
So that's something that I tried before.
Mm,
Um, the there's a couple key components that you have to realize. One, you have to figure out what the current culture is,
Mhm.
and where is it going wrong in your brain, at least.
Yeah.
Because in somebody else's brain, this might be perfectly fine. But in your brain, you have to figure out what's going on. Then you have to figure out with yourself is what's the standard that you're looking to create.
Mhm.
And then from that point is you have to find a sweet spot to kind of meet the people where they are, and that starts to build that trust within them,
Okay.
and well, within you, I should say. And then you can slowly start implementing things that is kind of breaking the mold of what exists, because at the end of the day is if a culture exists, let's say culture A exists but you want culture B, you have to find a way to get culture A to trust into you and um like you,
Yeah.
so then you can slowly start to integrate culture B.
Mhm.
So it's a long game that you have to play.
Yes.
You can't just come in straight like drill sergeant and be like, "Fuck this, we're changing everything, and this is what it's gonna be moving forward," because then it's just gonna be a hard out.
Yeah.
Unless you just have a really aggressive stance and you just have a way where you can just push everybody out and then bring in the new.
Yeah.
If you can make that work, which is like kind of pulling magic at that point, so be it. But if you want to try to just maybe you like the culture, maybe you like the people that's already in that culture, but you want to kind of change the shift the direction of where this is going, you got to get them to like you and you got to get them to trust you.
Yeah.
You know, make build relationships with these people. And then once they start seeing like, hey, we like this person, then they start seeing that you care. Oh, that changes things, bro.
Mhm.
Like and that happened when I was at the gym prior, and that also happened kind of like within my own business early on too. Is I started changing the direction of how I wanted to run my service. And it was the simple fact that like people loved me and people trusted my work and people enjoyed the service, to where the little changes that started to come in, they started looking at it as growth
Nice.
opposed of like this is a culture shock.
Yeah.
It's like no, he's growing this into something different, because now he's like, and I always try to be transparent with my community in terms of like, hey, I'm learning this, or my direction is here, and I always try to show people like I care and that it's a business, but I also want to make sure that we're all enjoying the process at the same time. You
Sure.
know, like not being so strict in drill sergeanty to where it just kind of feels like boot camp, but also not being so laxed in just like having no backbone, that like my culture is being created by the people
Yeah.
opposed to me creating the culture. And I've seen that happen on both ends where it's like the coach that's just overly aggressive and like it turns people off. And then you
Yeah.
have the other coach who's just like so lackadaisical that like the clients run over him or the athletes run over him or her. You know, I've
Yeah.
seen it in both cases. So you do got to find an even medium to where like you're stern and you have direction. Like people like to see that someone has direction and intention,
Yeah.
you know, because that definitely helps, because now it feels like this person is trustworthy and this person has vision on where they want to go with it, but also be personable at the same time, to where now you can build that trust and that relationship with people.
I love that. Yeah.
And
I
you
think.
also got to just know that like it takes time. It really does take time. It's a slow process, but it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done if it can be done if you structure it the right way.
Yeah, I think the time and the trust are the two big things. So like it's not gonna flip over overnight. And I think building the trust with the people and like building the relationships are super important, because that's something that I found like super beneficial. It's like once people started liking me, I could literally tell you to, hey, we're gonna go outside and just do backflips. Cool.
Bro. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, cool. I trust you. We're gonna do backflips right now. I've never done one. I'll probably die, but I'm gonna do it. So like it's a thing of like building the trust, and people start to see that, and people start to enjoy the time that you have, that they're there, and they start to see that, oh shit, like he don't play this, but he'll let me do that or whatever like that. Like I'm for me personally, like, like I don't care what you do sometimes. Like movement wise, like, hey man, like if you're more comfortable doing goblet squat and our goal is to do back squat today, I don't give a shit. If that's
Okay.
something that you can do intently, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Cool. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't bother me. So I'm very like that. I think people started to trust me more that it wasn't such a stern thing with them. But I am very stern on like, nah, like it has to be like we have to train intensely though. Like I'm not gonna let you go ahead and just do the
Yeah.
little shit. We have to make sure that you're getting your mobility right. You're making sure that you're getting your technique right. You're making sure that you're getting all your reps correctly. I don't count reps too. Like I tell people right now, I'm not counting your fucking reps. You
I'd
don't
say
pay
that
me
shit
enough
all
to
the
do that.
time, bro.
Yeah, I mean you don't pay me enough to do that, and I'm not fucking doing that. But I'll make sure you don't die. Like that's literally all I'm gonna make sure you get that's gonna happen. And I think people like got the joking and I'm very nonchalant. I also like to make fun of people. Like if people find that enjoyable, I don't understand why. Like I don't give a shit. But like it also like brings like a I think that the banter um brings a little bit of fun. You know what I mean? It's like I think once people see you start to have fun in the way that you coach, like people start to trust you because then you actually see that you have a direction, you have a purpose of what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I know some days like it's just hard. Like I just had like an 8 hour day and I looked at my step count. I walked 6 miles in 8 hours just coaching. I
That's
didn't even
insane.
fucking know this. That's fucking crazy. I pace a lot. Um, but like I just enjoy doing it. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy yelling at people. It's my favorite thing to do. I mean, I fucking love it. But yeah, have fun with it, enjoy it, and then that can build a better culture. Once you start understanding that, and once people start loving you, and let's just say like you have other coaches there that are bad for the culture. Once they start loving you, like you're the fucking guy or the fucking girl that they fucking want. Yeah, I mean, like they're gonna come to you for all their advice, and once they come to you, the other coach is gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know what I mean, I'm just having fun, man. You know what I mean, and then they're gonna come to you for advice, and then they're gonna start changing because you're changing the culture yourself. So like sometimes it's not an
In an
immediate
ideal situation, because
yeah,
that can
ideal
never.
situation. Yeah, some people don't give a shit. Yeah, yeah.
I've been on the other side of that
Yeah,
one.
there's other sides to that shit. Sorry, you're right. You're right. Yeah, some people just don't give a fuck. Like there's trade, whatever.
It's like get him out
But
of here.
yeah, I'm in fantasy world, bro. I'm playing. I'm in Harry Potter right now. I'm
Yeah,
in
fantasy
Hogwarts.
football is really starting to take over
Football,
everything.
fantasy, bro. No, fantasy football is real, bro. I have a real team. One team is called Raw Dog in it, and the other team is called Joe Buck Yourself.
Oh, that's amazing.
I got good names. Anyway, but in a perfect world, I'm sorry, in a perfect world, these other coaches will hopefully take bits and pieces of what you're
Yeah, for
bringing
sure.
and here create that into the culture, and then that can kind of grow from there. Um, but yeah, that's in a perfect world. But
Yeah, and getting everybody on the same page and
and
aligned
get
with one thing like
everybody on
that,
the same
which
page.
kind
Yeah,
of goes back to the community conversation, how this all started.
yeah,
At the end of the day, just like establishing those boundaries, your direction, your vision, what you want in your ecosystem. So
yeah,
when you're really set in that, sometimes instead of everybody being aligned with you, you are met with clashing.
yeah,
And then that lets you know exactly like, okay, maybe I'm not the fit here that I maybe thought I once was. So you start searching for what that fit might look like for you. But it's important that you do identify as like, this is what I'm looking for. So when you do encounter things that you're not looking for, you don't want to welcome in your ecosystem, it
yeah.
stands out more. And you don't just necessarily try to conform to it all the time.
And hold fast in your standards. Like just
Yeah.
because it's not a good fit, like don't change your standards to match the fit if you don't believe that it's a standard that you want to create. If it doesn't fit your standard, then either, I mean, again, like make it work, like in a way that it's both cohesive or like it's just not a good fit at all. But
Yeah, and
don't like
you can
sacrifice
do
your
that
standard.
short term. That doesn't play out long term well.
No, does not. So realistically, like just hold fast in your standards and it doesn't fit. You know, what I mean, that's all it is. Sucks, but it's true.
Yeah, and even doing the podcast too, like it's fun kind of seeing what this community is kind of building itself to be. Because like we have our own personal community, and you're in Alpha, you have your online community. I got my online community, and I also have my in person. So now
Mhm.
it's like we're even tapping into different communities, and I know both of us are still even trying to build our own online community and see what that exists with.
Yeah.
My idea of what online coaching was to what it is today is not what I thought it would be, but I love it. Like I actually love like what the online community has kind of turned itself to be. And then like I also realized like it's a different type of person that is involved in my online community
Yeah,
opposed to the people that's in my in-person community. And not to say that neither one is organic to me, they're just different sides of me
yeah,
because it's different interests where it's like, oh, this type of person is the person that's being more attracted to the online community stuff, and this person is more attracted to the in-person. So it is actually kind of fun to see the different communities and even seeing what's what's bringing in traction from this podcast community. You know, by the time we're on episode 20, who knows what this thing starts to look like. We were just talking about some analytics before we got on the podcast today, and we're like, we got people in Germany and people are streaming more listenings and YouTube here and there. So we're just kind of getting a grasp and seeing like, oh, okay, like this is what's starting to attract certain eyes. Like it's pretty
yeah.
cool.
No, I fucking love it. And I think no matter what, we have a small community, and it's always fun watching it grow.
For
It's
sure.
always fun watching it grow, no matter how small. We get a subscriber a day, we get a subscriber a week. It doesn't fucking matter. And like we understand that like this shit takes time, and we also understand that we're also not doing this for like the financial gain or anything like that. We're just trying to help out as many people as we can. If fucking 15% of people in Germany want to listen to us and they get one thing, cool. Okay, I don't give a shit. Even if they understand us or they're whatever the fuck they're doing or they take bits and pieces. I don't even know how they found us. I'm really interested in that. That's
We'll keep
gonna piss
finding
me
out
off.
week by week.
That's
We're
that's
learning more as we keep doing this thing.
if we're on like German Pornhub or something like that for some weird reason, like I'm gonna be freaked out. Like we don't do anything like that. Like what are they looking at that gets them aroused? Whatever. But
Probably that one episode where where you went
oh, I was
crazy.
cramping. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's probably
Spanish
where they
guy,
found us.
they're on their phone. Spanish guy cramping. Boom. Oh my god, I love that guy. Um, but yeah, I mean it's fun. And I think an undervalued um thing of the undervalued thing of life in general is having a strong community. Like
For sure.
you can't do this shit alone. You can't do this with a weak community.
Yeah.
Um, and if you feel like you're alone, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not.
Yeah.
Um, there's always somebody out there that's on your side or some shit like that. If you need help, whatever, ask for help. I think that's also the biggest thing. Is like if you're alone and you think that you don't need help, then that's your ego telling you that you don't need help. Like
Yep.
be okay with accepting help and asking for help too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I haven't gotten to where I've gotten by myself at all. Like I'm totally okay being a fucking idiot and asking for help. Like I'm not saying I'm an idiot for asking for help, but I'm okay being the dumbest person in the room and asking for assistance or asking for advice and shit like that.
For sure.
I think that's also why people respect me more because like I'm okay asking for advice. I'm okay taking the suggestions and constructive criticisms. But in the grand scheme of things, like there's always somebody out there. There's always a way to build a community. You just gotta find that community. And even if it takes you fucking forever, like cool. Like it took you forever, you found one. Cool. You did it. I mean, just it takes time. But hopefully like everybody out there is like loved, feels loved, and
Yeah.
all this fucking magical shit. Um, but yeah, communities are super important. And I think that's super undervalued in wealth, healthness, mental health, and all that stuff. So use it.
Couldn't couldn't agree with you more. And on that note, guys, I think you closed that out really, really, really well, EP. So on that note, thank you guys for another episode. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, put your notifications on Spotify, Apple, Google, Podcast Addict. Shout out to Germany.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn how to say what's up in Germany next time. For like
Oh
no,
yeah, that's it.
I'm just gonna start speaking German, which is like gonna be actually it'll be hilarious if like one time I just like flat out like fluent in German. It's like I don't know, I think it'd be hilarious. I'm just saying, I think that'd be great. It'd
More
be,
fancy
it'd be
football
I'll learn
talk.
German. I'll learn German before I learn fucking Spanish at this point.
He's like, at least the Germans are supporting us.
Exactly. It's like I gotta change my language, bro. But yeah, we appreciate everybody. Do all the things. Remember, like I always say, if you don't like, subscribe, do all that stuff, I will find you. Um, I probably won't. You live too far and I'm too lazy. But But we appreciate you, everybody.
All right, guys. Until next time. Catch you next week.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace.